Hello everyone and welcome back to a new video where we're going to be going over the 5 things I hate most about my V6 Hyundai Coupe. So yeah, it's a video everyone does at some point basically. Kind of feels a bit relevant right at the moment since I'm not getting too much done to go over them and look back at the car for all the bits. So yeah, number one has to be that engine for me, especially the V6 mainly, because it's just so big and it's not worth. You don't get enough reward for what you have to give up for it. The weight, the fuel consumption, the tax costs, and everything else. I get this really good for the the torque, and I will be going over that in the love video that's coming up. But the power numbers are just too low for what it is. If you look at the 2-litre model that gets 140 brake horsepower, you get an extra 25 for the another 2 cylinders and another 700 cc's. It's just not worth it, especially when you consider other things like the Celica, one of the main rivals for this car when it came out. That came out with the 1.8, which the standard one, same as the 2-litre for this, 140 brake horsepower, all fine. On this they moved up to a V6 2.7 litre and got it up to 165. Toyota with the Celica, what do? They move it over to the exact same 1.8 engine retuned by Yamaha and get up to 190. So you've now got much better fuel consumption than this, much more power than this. Yeah, it's one of those things. It's got its benefits, but I feel like the negatives outweigh the benefits on it, is the only problem. I probably would say, unless you can afford it to keep it up, the 2-litre is worth going for. I can't say for sure. I would love to give one a try. If you do have one, please let us know in the comments if you'd like to get it on the channel, because I'd love to do that and get to see one. But yeah, that's my number one problem with the car. So on to number 2, and that will be the fact that this car is front wheel drive. You see, the biggest problem you got is the moment you've said what engine you've got, people will start talking about the power, and you'll spend ages explaining it's not about the power, it's about the torque and all that. You try to justify it all, which is completely pointless, a waste of time. And the moment of that, you then go straight onto the fact that they assume it's rear wheel drive on top of that, and then you've got to try and justify that, which you can't really do. No one's ever going to listen to you in the car world, are they, when you say you've got a front wheel drive car, especially in a car that looks like this. You got a small 2-seater, the 2-door sports car, well 3-door if you count the hatch, but it's just, it doesn't look right. It doesn't look like one. It's like, I can understand why and I can get points for it, but especially like, it makes sense on some of the smaller engines. Where you get to the bigger V6, it just feels out of place, especially on a big front heavy car as well. But oh well, it's a problem I can live with, but it's one I wish was a bit different. So yeah, on to number 3, and that is the headroom in this car. I'm not very tall, I'm only like 5'9", but I mean, I look a lot taller than Matt's MX-5, but compared to this, I've got maybe an inch of headroom. There's not much. I mean, if you see up there, you can see a nice marking where the head rubs against it, and it's even worse once you got the helmet on the track day that we did. That was great fun though, definitely go and watch that video. But yeah, it's just, it hasn't got the space. I get it's a low sports car, but you sit so high up, it feels like I'm sat here now, my point of view is just so high up, it feels like I could sit like this much lower and I'll be much fine. Like, I don't get why the seat just feels too high up and you can't lower it any lower. But it's something that I suppose you could sort out with a butt bucket seat for less padding low down. If you wanted to go full track car, you could strip all of this out, but I mean, it is still daily for me, so that is one of those things. But like, again, little problems can be solved, but it's just putting the time and effort into them if you wanted to ever make your perfect car, I guess. But yeah, on to point 4, talking about making the perfect car. The biggest problem with this is the lack of aftermarket support. If you wanted to try and make something perfect, you are limited on options, is the only problem with this. It is a great platform, I will say, and all that, but you go through everything and you try and look online, you are very limited. A lot of the best stuff you will have to order in from the States mainly, but even then, like, the cost of it is the biggest problem there. Yeah, it doesn't help either on this, the V6. So if you look through them, there are options out there for the 2-litre, but still limited, and then going to the V6, you're just limiting yourself more. Yeah, again, if you're into custom bits and doing stuff yourself, you have a great time on this, but if you're there looking through the main dealers and things like that for bits for the car, yeah, you're going to struggle. So yeah, and lastly, one of my main problems with this car is just the name of it. Like the Hyundai Coupe, it just feels like it's not missing something, or it's not exotic enough. Like they had over in the States the Tiburon, I believe they called it, or I might be pronouncing that wrong. I'm sorry if I'm getting that wrong, but it just sounds a bit more interesting, because Coupe just sounds like it doesn't work on its own. It feels like it should be something like the i30, the i40 Coupe version of them. Just being a coupe on its own, it just feels like you're naming the body shape of something. But yeah, that's just personal opinion, I guess. Some of you out there probably disagree with me in the comments and complain about it, but yeah, for me, when you say you drive a coupe, it doesn't feel like you're saying this car. It just feels like you're saying the general broad part. It just doesn't feel, you know, interesting and exotic to talk about. Yeah, that's just me personally, but I feel like they definitely could have done a better job. I mean, if you look out there at some of the custom ones, a lot of people do rebadge them to the American trims and all that, which I can get. The only one I don't like is the flag emblem, I believe you see, especially if you get the newer generation, the last one, the Gen 4. It doesn't look right because it looks like a fake Aston Martin badge on my mind. That's what I first thought. The first time I ever saw them, it was one. So yeah, that looks a bit off. The nice round one for the T, they look good. But yeah, have a look in, if you're looking into them, definitely look into those. They do look a lot nicer for options. So yeah, that's that last problem. So yeah, anyway, hope you all enjoyed this video. It's just me going on about a few of my little pet peeves with the car. Obviously, coming up next week, we'll be going over the 5 things that I love about the car, so make sure you hit that subscribe button and the little bell icon as well, so you can be notified of when that comes up. And also, while in the meantime, while you're waiting for that, why don't you go and check out some of our other videos. We've got a good track day one where we took the coupe out on track. That was great fun. And you can also go and look at Matt complaining about his problems with his Ibiza. But yeah, anyway, until then, hope you all stay safe and see you in the next one. Bye.